Jimbo's Garage.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Jimbo's Garage. Well, today's video we're going to be making another gate. What makes this gate a little bit interesting is what we're putting on the face of this gate. We're going to be using some wood from an old abandoned elevator shaft. The client of mine is a demolition contractor who had recently demoed several floors of an elevator shaft in an old building in downtown Los Angeles. They said this building was built in the early 1900s. So he was able to salvage all the wood lining for this and thought it'd be interesting to use it on a series of gates we're going to be using on a piece of property. So we're going to do one of these gates. We'll show you what it looks like. I think it's going to be an interesting build. Let's get started in today's video.
All right, so I'm going to start out by saying I got a lot of comments in the comment section about people wanting to see longer videos. It just seems like our videos have been a little bit shorter, and then some people want to hear me talk less. Some people want to see real-time videos. Well, the reality of it is a video like this takes several days to build, so we cannot do real-time. So we're going to give you a little bit of both. We're going to make it a little bit longer, and of course, I'm going to be talking a little bit more. Some of you will like that, some of you won't, but that's just the way it is. So we're starting off with some 2-inch square tube right here. This is some 063, and this is typically what I use for your basic gate frame. This is fairly lightweight. The wood that's going on here is lightweight. So you might see that I'm reaching for some tape in the end of my pencil here. I've got some new pencils. The other ones I had were really short, so I've got this bad habit about putting pencils in my mouth. The problem is I ended up leaving them on my welding table or my workbench, and I can never find them, so I ended up just putting them in my mouth. But I don't know, bad habit. Anyways, I got everything all cut out over here at the welding table, and this is the beauty of this here, being able to have a welding table like this. So easy just to clamp everything perfectly square and perfectly flat right out of the chute as compared to what I used to have. It just took me so much time. You can see I just drop a couple pins in on either direction, slide them together, clamp it down. It's perfectly square. We're going to be operating off the HP ProPulse 220 MTS here, and once I got everything clamped down, I'm just going to weld as much as I can out all the way around. Here's just another example of how well that fits together. It's just a perfect 90 degrees right there. You know, I'm just welding this in, and then I'm just going to go ahead and grind some of these, most of it all down flat. And that's what I normally do. Well, there it is. I got one side completely welded out, and I wanted to show you this. 90 7/8. 90 7/8. 90 7/8 exactly. I mean, not even a 32nd of an inch off. That's crazy. Now, I know it was hard for you guys to actually see the tape measure on that, but that is really what it was. I could not believe how close that was. But nevertheless, that's what makes things easy to fabricate here with the table. All right, so I'm just finishing up the welds here on the other side, and then I'm going to stand it up and go ahead and get the inside. One little interesting note right here on at least 3 of the welds, and you'll see right here's the first. At the very end, you're going to see what appears to be a pinhole, and that is exactly what it is. And there's another one right here. And these 3 welds had the same pinhole at the very end. I've never seen that before. I don't know what happened there. Anyways, I caught that and filled those in, but I don't know what the problem is there, or was at that point, but all the rest of them turned out just fine. All right, you can see me welding a cross member right here. Now, I'm trying to build this thing as I go and trying to figure out what the best look is going to be here. And so I started with one cross brace right there. All right, so here you see me grinding these welds nice and flat, and I'm using a Mercer ceramic lap disc. This is a 60 grit. I like to use a 60 grit on this right here. It reduces the the scratch marks, so it's less visible when you go ahead and prime and paint it. Not to mention, it doesn't take very much time at all to go through here, especially on these small little welds, to get things cleaned up. All right, so here you see me unloading what is the leftovers or remains of some of the panels that I have to work with. And I got this from the demolition contractor. You see I'm just throwing them up on my table here. Now, What I've got to do is disassemble every single piece by piece, all the straps, all the hardware, all the bolts, and there are some screws in here and some staples. This thing was assembled, apparently from what I heard, in the early 1900s. And so in order for me to salvage the wood off of these panels, I had to take everything completely apart. There was a lot of damage to a lot of it, and so I just had to use as much wood as I could possibly get from the 3 or 4 panels I had to work with right here. And these things were held together by, I'm telling you, I must have got more than 100 nuts and bolts off of these panels. I saved all of it. I'll be using some of it later on in this video. The plan is to salvage some of the hardware here. They want to go ahead and put some of that on at the end of the project with the new gate to make it look aesthetically like it was old school. There's some of that hardware right here I'm taking off. Kind of interesting. Some of this stuff, like this one right here, was solid brass. The other one you saw me take off was aluminum. This one was solid brass. I think what these things are, are guides. There was wires that ran through here, or I should say cables, and the cables I think were in these guides right here. And then this is just a strap. There were several of these in there, and you can see some of this wood is just starting to crack and come apart. So it was the best I could do to take everything apart and salvage all the wood I could possibly get just to make this one gate. Now, I did not use all of it, but hung on to it. We're going to be doing some future gates on this project a little bit later. So I'm just gathering up all the slats right here, and they had some staples in them. This was original, and I just pulled everything out. At this point, I'm kind of liking this old red look and this old wood look, but I think later they decided they're going to paint it. All right, so I'm just getting a hinge on while I can because I'm going to be burying that with some wood right here. And this is a lightweight gate, so I'm just using some lightweight door type hinges right here. It's going to be able to support this, no problem. All right, so you can see that, or you might not see, but I had to add another cross brace across the center because I figured that this is the way I was going to build it. I didn't know that and I didn't catch that on video, but you'll see it's just like a cross brace across the center there. All right, so I'm just marking this wood right here, and the plan is to get a perimeter border all the way around, including the cross section in the middle of the gate, all with this 1x4 material. Surprisingly, for being as old as it is, the wood that I harvested was fairly straight and it wasn't warped. Extremely dry, obviously. You can see that it's pretty beat up, but that's the look we're looking for. And just mounting it onto the frame right here, I'm just using some self-tapping screws. Now I like to pre-drill the material and use these self-tapping screws. I don't need to pre-drill it, but it just seems to work better that way. And a little countersink to recess it in the wood. And then there's no structural value to this wood right here because the frame is taking all of that. And so it's just all I need is just some screws to hold it to the frame. Up there in the very top, I had a split in the wood right there, so I used a couple screws there to hold it all together. And just picking out. You can see I've got quite a pile of lumber right there. So I'm, trying to pick out the best pieces here for this particular gate and cut off all the ends that were bad and just kind of use the stuff. Even though we're looking, we want it to look as rustic as possible, there still was some bad wood in there. And since this is the first gate, I just want to be sure that it was looking really good. So I'm using the best wood I can, getting rid of some of the other stuff. You can see there's a bracket on there that I just couldn't take all of it off, but all right, just popping it right in right there, and then just continue going around, screwing everything together. I'd mentioned earlier that, now that I'm seeing this come together, and obviously where this was, it was red painted at one time, and then just kind of seeing the old rustic red looking and beat up old wood, I kind of like that look. And I was kind of hoping that the customer would just elect to just leave it like that. Unfortunately, this is going to be outside, so I understand it's got to be some sort of treatment on it. They are choosing to paint it black. That's just what they're going to go with here. But until then, we're going to get this all bolted in here. You know, what do we do without cordless tools? I'm telling you what. So you can see that I've got a variety of different cordless tools right here. All of them I did this whole assembly right here on single batteries on all of them. Mind you, the fine orange ones right there are 12 volts. I still had no issue with battery life right there. And you can see that everything goes together smoothly. You know, back in the day when everything had cords, can you imagine? Man, what a nightmare that would have been. Or, let's go back even farther. You had to hand drill everything. Technology. All right, I'm down to the last little cross piece right here. I'm just buttoning up some screws, flipping it around. And it's finally starting to take some shape. And then I was trying to decide exactly what I was going to do with the slats and how I was going to do that. But, all right, so there it is. That part of it is complete. And now it is time to move on to the slats. And that's what I have to work with right there. All right, so I'm trying to keep the theme of the panels originally. The spacing on them was about 1.5 inches, 1 3/4. And I was a little selective with the wood right here. I'm trying to get, be as uniform as possible. Choosing the best wood I can. And you can see I set up a stop block right there, my chop saw, and was able to cut several pieces at a time, which worked out pretty good. Yeah, I'm just using some Type Bond right here. This is the waterproof wood. This is going to be outside, so I thought I would just, try this waterproof stuff out right here. I'm sure that's going to help. And then just some little brads right here that I'm using to fasten into place right here. And I've already pre-marked everything. That's why it looks, I'm not just throwing them in there. I'd taken the time to pre-mark it and just put them in there on the marks. Little extra staples, or I should say brads, all the way around. And then repeated the process on all 4 of the panels inside this section here. Yeah, at first I was trying to be a little selective. There is a front side and a back side to the gate. And I was trying to be, creative with the wood and keep one side looking good. And then I remembered that didn't really matter. It's going to be painted anyway. So, but anyways, it's all good. You know, it's surprisingly strong, these little slats right here. I thought it might be an issue that might be a little bit flimsy, but after I got them all glued in and stapled in, it was actually a fairly sturdy gate. All right, just down to the very end right here, and coming down to the last of the slats. And I'm anxious to flip this thing up and see what it looks like here. All right, there's the first look of it. I think that looks pretty cool. I know it's rustic and an old style look, but that's what they were looking for. So now it was time to install a little bit of hardware. Now, like I explained, this is just aesthetic stuff. This is some of the stuff I harvested off of there, and I'm just going to put a few things on there. There's the bucket of nuts and bolts that I had left over. Didn't know exactly how many I was going to use or what I was going to use. I just wanted to hang on to everything, and hopefully I can utilize some of it. Like I said, some of these things are just like guides or cable guides that was on there before. Now, there's no rhyme or reason how I'm installing these. I'm just putting a couple of them, one on each corner, and then miscellaneous stuff in between. They just want it to look, as close to original as possible. And again, this is all aesthetics. That's all this is right here. I was able to get a couple of bolts in some of them more than a couple. This one got 3. You can see that the square tube was in the way on some of it, so the placement was, I took that into consideration. Like I said, it's just there to hold them in place, so it's not going to be doing anything other than just looking good. And this was like, I don't know, it looks like maybe a board was, you could have dropped a board in between this and that would have locked something in. I don't know. It's kind of what that looked like. So I put 3 of these across there. It just kind of looked like that's where they might have gone before. But like I said, no rhyme or reason how everything went on there. I just wanted it to look, a little bit close to original as it possibly could. And I got to say, the owner was happy. This is exactly what they were looking for. It kind of matches the style of house that we were working on. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to check out my website at JIMBO'Sgarage.com. I've got some torch lead holders over there, some shirts and some hats. Follow us on Facebook and check us out on Instagram. Again, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next week.
See you next time on Jimbo's Garage.